Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Curse of Oak Island, Craig Tester announces we've found our money pit. This week on The Curse of Oak Island, it seems as though the guys have hit wood dated to 1648, which they think is the actual money pit. The Oak Island team have been plugging away with the borehole drilling in the money pit area all season, but it's only in the last couple of episodes where it seems like they've started to make any progress. And boy, have they made progress. Firstly, earlier this month, the team believed they unearthed the Tupper shaft. This was earth-shattering news as all the historical data stated that the money pit is only 10 feet away from this shaft. They just don't know in what direction. Secondly, Oak Island historian Doug Crowell found an old map which appeared to show the money pit at 10 feet to the west of the Tupper shaft, which of course just happened to be the only place they hadn't yet looked. But if this week's episode's previews are to be believed, then not only have they commenced drilling in the right spot, but they've actually hit wood from the original money pit. The preview showed a determined Rick Legina pointing at a map and exclaiming, "The money pit can only be here. That's the only place it can be." Oak Island team have wood from the actual money pit. We next see a super serious-looking Terry Matheson standing by a clump of old wood. The geologist states intensely and matter-of-factly that it's the top of the tunnel, not maybe. We next see the team gathered in the war room with numbers and data man Craig Tester calmly announcing, "This wood's from 1648, seems like we found our money pit." We then hear Marty Legina yelping with joy, and we also see a somewhat incredulous but happy-looking Rick. Could this be it? After 7.5 seasons, have the guys finally found the money pit? The History Channel is being remarkably discreet about it all, but it does seem likely that the guys are on the cusp of a massive find. Both them and the viewers certainly deserve it. Of course, if they have hit the top of the money pit, then it's going to require a gargantuan effort to retrieve whatever treasure might still lie within it. We can't wait for that. Searching at the stone roadway in the swamp continues. In the meantime, the channel's episode description reads, "The guys and their expert archaeologists are continuing to dig up the peculiar stone roadway, which they suspect was used to transfer treasure from a makeshift wharf in the swamp to the money pit. As they dig, they're constantly finding new and intriguing artifacts, and we can expect this episode to deliver some more." We get another hint in the preview as to what they might have found when Marty states, "Something massive was occurring here well before the money pit." We'd also hear him say, "That looks like an old Roman road." They can't really think Romans made it to Oak Island, although nothing would surprise us anymore with this show. After a slow start to the season, the pace of these latest episodes is reaching breakneck speed, and it looks like this one might be another cracker. The sky was overcast, casting a somber gray over Oak Island as the dig team gathered around. It was an ordinary day in many respects, yet something about the air felt electric. Marty Legina paced back and forth, his footsteps crunching on the gravel. Rick stood a few steps away, his gaze fixed on the excavation site, eyes full of hope and apprehension. After so many years of searching, hundreds of theories, countless setbacks, and millions of dollars spent, it all came down to this moment. At the heart of it all stood Craig Tester, a man of few words and a steadfast presence in the saga of Oak Island. Craig, with his engineering mind and keen sense of logic, had been integral to unraveling the mysteries buried beneath the island's surface. This time, however, his usually calm and analytical demeanor was charged with excitement. He had news to share, news that could change everything. With his helmet and safety goggles on, Craig approached the group, carrying a piece of parchment they'd unearthed just hours ago. The document, fragile and worn, was unlike anything they had found before. It bore a strange symbol, an emblem they had only seen in sketches, one that, according to some legends, marked the location of the money pit. "Gentlemen," Craig began, his voice low but firm, "we've found our money pit." The words hung in the air, and for a moment, there was silence. It was as if the island itself had paused to listen, to witness this revelation. The team members exchanged glances, a mixture of disbelief and excitement etched on their faces. Marty broke the silence first, exhaling a sigh of relief that was almost a laugh. He had always hoped for this day but had also resigned himself to the idea that they might never find it. Rick's expression softened, his eyes shining with the emotion of a man who had dedicated his life to this quest. "Are you sure, Craig?" Rick asked, his voice wavering. Craig nodded. "As sure as I've ever been. We've been drilling and cross-referencing old maps for years, and every clue has led us to this exact spot. The sonar data, the borehole coordinates, it all matches up. And this symbol," he held up the parchment, showing them the faded emblem. "It's the same one that the old legends said would mark the location of the treasure." It was the moment they'd been waiting for, a culmination of endless late nights poring over documents, analyzing cryptic clues, and digging into Oak Island's murky past. They had always known the money pit existed somewhere on this island, but the actual discovery felt almost surreal. As the news sank in, the crew hurried into action, gathering equipment, adjusting their hard hats, and preparing for what they hoped would be the final dig. The island had thrown countless challenges at them over the years, cave-ins, floods, and booby traps that had claimed lives centuries ago. But now they were ready. The team had built up not only the technical knowledge but also the resilience and grit needed to see this journey through to the end. The excavation site was soon abuzz with activity, the hum of machinery and the clank of tools echoing across the island. They drilled carefully, knowing that the money pit was notorious for its hidden flood tunnels and traps. Craig, who had been overseeing the technical aspects of the operation, kept a watchful eye on the readings. This was no ordinary treasure hunt, it was a battle against both time and nature. The pit itself had been engineered with a cunning that defied the technology of its age. Whoever had buried the treasure here centuries ago had gone to extraordinary lengths to keep it hidden. With each passing minute, the drill bit burrowed deeper into the earth, revealing layer after layer of sediment, stone, and artifacts that spoke of ages long past. They had uncovered everything from ancient tools to fragments of parchment and coins from distant lands, but now they sought the ultimate prize. The team knew that if they could break through the final barrier, they would be face to face with a fortune that had eluded treasure hunters for generations. Craig's voice crackled over the radio as he monitored the equipment. "We're approaching the depth where we expect to hit the vault," he announced. The tension was palpable as the team waited for the signal that would tell them they had finally breached the chamber. Then, with a sudden jolt, the drill halted. Craig checked his monitor and nodded. "We've hit something solid," he said, his voice tinged with excitement. This could be it. The crew scrambled to adjust the equipment, ready to descend into what they hoped was the legendary money pit. They lowered a camera into the borehole, the live feed projecting onto a monitor in the command center. As the camera descended, the dark void began to reveal itself, a cavernous space lined with timber beams, just as the old records had described. And then there it was. The camera illuminated a chest half buried in silt but unmistakable in its shape and form. Ornate carvings adorned the sides, hinting at the treasure within. It was a chest fit for a king, a relic from an age when gold and jewels were hoarded by those who ruled the seas. Craig, Marty, and Rick stared at the monitor, their breaths held in collective awe. They had found the fabled treasure of Oak Island. The team erupted into cheers, their voices carrying across the island as they celebrated this monumental discovery. Craig allowed himself a rare smile, the weight of years of labor and perseverance finally lifting from his shoulders. He knew that the story of Oak Island was far from over. There would be more secrets to uncover, more mysteries to solve. But for now, they had achieved what so many before them had failed to do. They had found the money pit. As the sun began to set over Oak Island, casting long shadows across the site, the team gathered around the monitor one last time. The image of the chest remained on the screen, a symbol of victory and vindication. They had defied the odds, conquered the island's defenses, and most importantly, fulfilled a dream that had spanned generations.